And you suck right now.
Well,
you thought you had it all figured out back then. But
it's like Stokers of Stoke Nation. This is Chad Kroger.
Who
going
is that?
deep with the Chad and JT podcast.
Going deep.
Yeah, that's from Chad and JT Go Deep.
Yeah.
That's their intro.
Okay. They're nice. I actually like their podcast a little bit.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It's a good pod. It's a good podcast.
Yeah.
Yep, it really is.
It really is. All right. So what happened to you today?
Have you heard of QAnon and stuff yet?
Jesus.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
What happened to me today?
Yeah. I got a pizza that got rained on with a bunch of chorizo on it.
You did. You had a wet chorizo pizza.
Yeah. But it felt good going down.
Oh my gosh. I was jealous.
I was looking out at God's
I was
landscape.
jealous.
And I was seeing just how serene things were, and I was just shoving wet chorizo pizza in my mouth. It was beautiful. It was scenic.
Oh my gosh, so scenic.
Yeah.
I have not been to Lakeview. What's it called? Beaver Creek.
It's called it's called Short Randall's Dam or something.
Yeah.
Rock Bridge.
Yeah, Rock Mill.
Sam Rockwell.
Dude, Rock Mill is extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
I was impressed by how scenic it was.
Yeah.
And all the little tables and chairs out in like the grassy knoll areas.
Mm-hmm.
It was a vibe.
And like,
it was a hell of a vibe.
The children just jumping on rocks and stuff. I was like, this is paradise.
Yeah.
It's paradisal. Mm-hmm. I loved it.
It would be great to take kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because kids love being in nature and jumping and climbing on things and running around. There's plenty of things to keep them occupied while the parents can eat.
But I'm glad to see them have them.
I don't have any either, and I'm also glad to see them. Eventually, I'll have some children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably will too.
I'm sure you will.
I'll have 4, I think. That's how this is going to probably end up.
If you marry young, you can get 4.
Yeah.
But if you married someone, you're what, 30?
Yeah.
If you marry a 30-year-old, getting 4, I think, is less likely.
It's ambitious.
It's
really ambitious.
You're gonna be getting to it. Like as soon as she's healed up, you guys are rolling back for
my
round 2.
My grandma had 7 in a period of like 9 years. So she was a factory.
Jesus, was she Catholic?
Irish Catholic. She was like, "This is what the Lord says."
Yeah,
it's like if the Lord wills.
If the word, yeah.
She's like, if
blessed
the Lord
be
wills.
The day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, if
blessed
the Lord,
be the fruit.
Yeah, blessed be the fruit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, so I have 6 brothers. I have 6 aunts and uncles.
Wow.
Yeah. So big Irish Catholic family.
I feel like it'd be great if you wanted to be kind of a rebellious child and you wanted to get away with stuff. I mean, your parents would be so fatigued. It'd be so tough for them to like keep track of what's really going on in all 9 of their children's lives. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, you have to set the precedent where it's like, here's the rules, here's what's right, here's what's wrong, black and white. There is no gray area here. If you don't get this done, or if you don't like abide by these, you're gonna get disciplined.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna meet you halfway.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely
There's gonna be I'm not gonna reach down and be like, oh, I understand. I'm gonna be like, absolutely not. You knew this was wrong. Move on.
Exactly. And like the top 2 oldest children are basically like another set of parents.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be babysitting and doing a lot of chores.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully resenting their parents as they age.
Yeah. Hopefully they're like, why'd you give me so much responsibility when I was 6?
Yeah.
It was like, because...
It's like it's hay season, boy.
Yeah. Hay season. It's a hay fever.
I'm going to come back to this because this is important, but this reminded me of something. There's a subset of people who, dude, that when you ask them, like, what if I'm telling a story about my parents?
Yeah.
I will say my mom, my dad. I will use the my. I will use the possessive
my mama,
pronoun.
my papa.
I'll use my mama, my papa, me granny.
Me granny.
But there are certain people.
It's like my vile plume.
There are certain people who just call them dad or mom to you. They're not your dad or mom. You'd say that to your brother, but they'll say, yeah,
oh, dad.
They'll just say it like, yeah, dad or mom.
My sister-in-law does the same thing. I'm like, they're not my dad.
No.
It's like, oh, dad's getting this ready. Oh, grandma's getting this ready. I'm like, no. Your grandma's not the grandma of grandmas.
Yeah,
like,
you have to say my. If you exclude the my, it's psychotic, honestly.
Yeah. I think you are overstepping your bounds. As soon as you start saying grandma, it's like, am I supposed to relate to that?
Exactly.
I don't relate to that.
No.
There's boundaries.
Grandma who?
I have boundaries. Yeah, I have my own grandma I got to worry about.
Grandfather time, know?
Yeah. Now, question, what would it take for you to go be an animal rights activist? Like,
me?
For example, if you saw tons of capybaras being tested on, would that spark a sudden... would that catalyze your animal activist self?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think I'm an animal activist at heart.
Right, until you see a bunch of capybaras being experimented on.
If I felt like capybaras were being treated unjustly,
yeah,
that would piss me off.
Yeah.
I love those things.
But what if you were forced to watch a video of it for like an hour a day?
It'd probably affect me.
You'd
negatively.
Probably be like, we got to stop this, guys.
Yeah, we got to do something.
And now, how much of your time would you replace? Trust me, there's a point. Okay. Would you replace certain things in your day to then start being an activist for capybaras?
Probably not.
Even if you had to watch 20 minutes a day of capybaras being experimented on unethically. 20 minutes, that's a long time.
It's quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trauma.
Yeah, I know.
I'd probably spend the time going to like counseling, doing some like therapy.
Okay.
To process, maybe some EMDR therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
EMDR, what's that?
That's a therapy where you move your eyes back and forth as you talk through trauma, and it like helps you work through trauma. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
I just know CBT.
That's
cognitive behavioral therapy.
I love if you ever mention like, oh yeah, I'm into CBT. People are like, yeah, I smoke too.
CBT oil, dude.
Yeah, CBT oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do you right.
Okay. So you would not actually stand up against the unethical practices of
capybaras
of practicing medicine on capybaras?
I don't think so. Probably not.
Okay.
But I do love those things.
But
like whenever I'm on Instagram and I follow a couple of capybara pages.
Yeah.
And if I ever just see something great, I have to, tag you in it.
Exactly.
I don't what do you think when I tag you in one of those bad boys?
I appreciate it. Well, I know you're sharing a piece of your heart, and that's what I appreciate. Yeah.
Like it just cracks me up. Or like the Wombat Wednesday where he's like may you eat like healthy grass or something. Yeah.
Capybaras are wombats?
No. Like it's a capybara page, but on Wednesdays it's dedicated to wombats, and he always posts this one video where like just like this cute little baby wombat eating grass, and it has a Weezer song that's like on
Pork and Beans.
No. No, on an island in the sun. It's going.
Oh wow,
dude! It's just such a vibe.
That is
Pork and Beans.
Yeah, so,
dude, that's a true Weezer fan right there.
Oh, I love Pork and Beans. The song that is.
So what was your point you're driving at?
The point I'm trying to drive at is that if something's important enough to you, you will replace your normal routine.
You're driving towards a bike.
I'm trying to get you to start biking.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to get you to adventure bike with me.
Yeah, I don't even know what like the biggest motivation of a bike would be, like upgrading from a perfectly fine fixed gear that goes at a very reasonable speed to paying, an arm and a leg for something that would keep up with you. But right now, dude, you're crushing me. I'm
not even crushing you that much.
All the time that I left you in my dust.
Yeah.
All the time that I was biking and I felt superior because you're slow, because your brakes are clamped on your back tire, and it's taking so much force for you to keep up. All that feeling of ease of me riding.
That just prepared me.
it was just
I was Superman on Krypton. Now I'm on Earth, baby.
Dude, it was laying down a foundation of
wrath.
Of wrath and rage, so that when you finally got your new bike and we went biking together, boy, you let it fly.
Were you exhausted?
You let it rip. I was whipped. Yeah, I was trying to keep up with you the whole time, and you know what was funny? Let me just ask you this. Let's get the honesty out here.
Let's
let it fly.
Everything on the table, let it fly.
Let's let it go. Did you push the length of the ride farther just to see how much I could go?
No,
Okay.
that's we actually stopped short.
Here's what I thought.
We stopped short.
Wow. Because here's what I'm saying. Every little like turn up through like the what do you call that neighborhood?
We forgot to take a left, and that's
Upper
where
Arlington?
it hurt. We forgot to take a left, and we had to go downhill and go back up.
No, not even then.
That was the part I didn't anticipate.
But the neighborhood of Upper Arlington, I thought we were going to go across the bridge, putz around and then turn around. And instead, we go over the bridge.
I was trying to show you, yeah.
Up,
you can get to
up
the
this
zoo,
neighborhood,
baby.
up that neighborhood, up this. I was like, okay, he's got to be turning around now. Nope.
No.
Another
Absolutely
street.
Not.
And that, the whole time I kept thinking, well,
he's just trying to show me up.
I was like, no, well, this is what I deserve.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, this is, hey, I hats off. Keep it going. Make me work for it.
No.
I'll take it.
You know what's great is we didn't get to the hardest part. We actually stopped short of what I wanted to do.
That hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
All honesty on the table.
Yeah.
But it was more because I didn't have as much time.
Right.
So I had to pull back.
Yeah, I was thinking like, and then when we came back home and you're like, oh, I'm a little behind and I got to get back to work. I was like, well,
I'll go up this way.
I was like,
I remember you took a different route on the last part. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you bitter?
No, I didn't go. I didn't go the other route out of bitterness. I went the other route because I do not like biking on High Street with all the cars.
Okay.
Inhaling all the fumes.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I'm like, hey man,
this is not my space.
Well, I'm like, I got to go here because I'll get to home faster.
Yeah, makes
if
sense.
I do this, and you're like, oh, okay, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, yeah, see ya, dude.
Yeah, no.
And
I took no offense.
Okay.
No offense. I actually thought that you might, just for fun, just because you felt like goddamn Iron Man, that you were gonna cut up maybe on Broadway or
and then
something.
Find you.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to rub it in your face more, like
I'm ahead of you. I went ahead. I went past you, and I climbed up the hill, and I'm ahead of you. So I was kind of waiting. So I was keeping my eyes peeled.
That's so
looking
funny.
Around. It wasn't until I finally got home that I felt like I could take like a deep sigh of relief, like,
yeah.
And I had to just like stare myself in the mirror, just like, you deserve this. You did this to yourself. You laid down the sediment. Yeah. Colin is only acting as he must. No judgment.
It's the law of action and reaction.
Mm-hmm. It felt like when the student becomes the teacher.
The laws of entropy.
Yeah.
Like you push against a force for so long, but it's eventually going to push back.
Exactly.
And so I was ready. But the thing is, I have not like had my last evolution because I'm about to buy some tires that are going to make it a little bit faster. A little bit easier to climb.
I'm like doing everything I can to keep an edge on you. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, I need to get these shoes and pedals that are going to make me go faster. So I'm like, okay, how can I, shut this down a bit? Well, I can tell him it looks lame. I can tell him like the shoes are going to be like clogs. So like I'm trying to do everything I can to slow you. I'm just kidding.
The shoes are going to be like Dutchwood and clogs.
I do think that biking shoes that are clip-ons are
snobby. Do you think they're snobby?
I think they're inherently loserish.
Okay.
I don't think
until
they're snobby.
You get your ass beat.
Yeah. Until I'm weeping because I'm many miles behind. I'm gonna sit here and say, yeah, they're loserish.
Yeah. Anyway,
E.T. may have been a little bit of a foodie.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing: like that boy was a lightweight. He had one Coors and was totally off his rocker. Like he had one Coors and he looked like Joe Dirt. I mean, he had like a flannel going, open down the center, watching cartoons, stumbling around. Yeah. I mean, it was beautiful.
When he like just kept running into the shelves, that was like, again, I laughed so hard at this movie. I laughed so much harder than I did when I was a kid. Yeah. I just thought it was fun. And I thought it was like a good buddy movie where it's like he made a buddy.
Yeah. As a kid, of course, you're not gonna pick up and laugh at like kind of the subtle ridiculousness of E.T. You're gonna be more infatuated by like, holy crap, like I'm a little kid and maybe I could meet my own E.T. or something. Right. Yeah. And I took it very serious as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Not as an adult though.
No, and definitely at the end when he was leaving, it was poignant. Yeah. It was a poignant moment.
You felt a little twinge of sadness.
Yeah. And he bonded with Elliot in a way that is
special.
Quite literally like the specialest bond I've ever seen.
Well, I will say, yeah. He bonded with Elliot in a way that was uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
Quite uncomfortable.
Explain.
Well, I never picked up when I watched it the first time that when E.T. had, I guess, already previously bonded with Elliot, when E.T. was getting drunk, Elliot was then getting drunk in school. Which is kind of, it's definitely really strange that he has that kind of connection.
But I don't understand how he got the connection.
Oh, I don't know either. Honestly,
when did that happen?
No, I had no
idea. How did
he
develop this bond that's so tight that his feelings and his emotions and his biochemical makeup is starting to be similar to Elliot's real time?
Dude, I don't know.
Real time.
Well, we already know that E.T. is a suspicious character because of like the whole like cornfield, no cornfield, roasting all the corn, buttering, salting, sprinkling mine juice,
and then getting drunk. I bet he was drunk off all that yeast and shit.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lot.
He was probably opening his own distillery with all that corn.
Dude, easily.
Because it's gone.
No. Yeah, what we're talking about is when you watch the movie, the first opening scene where like Elliot meets E.T., Elliot's house is right next to a full-blown cornfield, something you would see in, middle America, right? Well, next morning...
He emerges from the mountains to the cornfield, I will say that much.
That's true.
So he was definitely in the mountains.
Mountains to cornfield.
But he like jumps down the mountains into this cornfield, and it's a big-ass cornfield.
It's massive. I mean, you would actually suspect that Elliot's family are farmers because of how Iowa. Much corn they have access to. Yeah. Exactly. However, the next day, when you get a side shot of Elliot's house, he is in mountainous, deserted, like Northern California terrain. Not a place where you're growing a lot of corn. No. All the corn was completely gone.
Okay,
which leads the viewer to kind of come to one of two conclusions. Either the first conclusion, which would be the false, ignorant one, that the director and the filmmakers just screwed up, or two, the higher brow, true interpretation of this is that E.T., with his mind and his powers, he harvested all the corn, he lifted it in the air, he roasted it, used the butter from the town, only for people not to appreciate and remember the work of E.T., so he had to sprinkle a little bit of mind juice.
Okay. I think there's a third option.
Okay, what's the third option?
I think there's a portal.
Portal from where to where?
I think there's a portal from the mountain he jumped off of to get away from those guys, and the portal shot him into a cornfield. He then again, I'm taking your theory. And I do think there's mind juice. There's no way around the mind juice.
Mind juice is definitely a big component. Of ET.
So here and again, what ET was coming here to do is to harvest corn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He came here to harvest the corn.
Yes.
But part of that is developing his own portal.
Okay.
So what he did is he took a family from Middle America.
Okay.
But again, he didn't like intentionally do this. So, well, in the beginning, like when he came to Earth, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm in the mountains. I got to create a portal." So he went and created a portal, landed in a cornfield in Iowa,
Okay.
Okay. He met this family there. He then he then harvested all the corn in the cornfield, put it into the portal back to back to back to his alien race. So all of his alien family can get the corn, right? Okay. He then accidentally, through the other portal, put all of Elliot and his family back into Northern California, and then used his mind juice to convince.
Yeah, he's like, oh shoot, I screwed up. Let's sprinkle the mind juice on Elliot's family, so they always thought that they were in Northern California.
Exactly, and people don't get that.
No,
people don't get that. I got it.
It's not that subtle.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
Anybody who watches it with like an intent mind can see that.
Exactly.
Like he was just a plum old corn farmer.
Yeah, all this whole family is are corn farmers in Iowa, and ET just used his portals to get him. And like, of course, like he couldn't. He used his last portal magic, so he couldn't go home. So he had to build crude elementary phone stuff to contact his people.
He's like, hey,
because he ran out of portals.
Yeah,
because one was because he thought one was to get all the corn back to all of his family.
He didn't realize he had to do that to Elliot's family. He's like, oh shoot! Look, luckily he had like a jar of mind juice. But honestly, that could have been like a big issue for ET if he didn't bring his jar of mind juice.
Exactly.
I mean, I was concerned, just like even from that plot point.
Yeah.
Felt a little bit of a suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was impressive.
So I do think ET needed a phone home because he ran out of portals that he can use.
Which is why he needed like a blender, a pencil sharpener, a couple of other items.
Yeah, to phone home so that they could come back and get him, because he's like, they clearly had all the corn that they needed to sustain themselves to come back.
Yeah. They were even have like a discussion on their side, like, well, we got all the corn. Do we really need to like waste our own portal juice to get him back?
Exactly. They don't need portal juice when you have all that corn.
Yeah. Corn is a hot commodity in like
the interstellar galaxy.
Oh my gosh, big time.
That's why Earth is still here, because we have all the corn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Corn is rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds life. So that was like the first thing I recognized that was different viewing it as an adult versus a kid. I missed like the big blaring like portal and mind juice bit, like
plot holes.
Yeah, it was,
and it's not a plot hole.
No,
you just need to understand how portals work in mind juice.
It made a complete sense watching it as an adult. It was just, I didn't pick that up as a kid.
No.
The other thing I thought was interesting as a kid that I didn't pick up was that connection there with Elliot, like the whole drinking and
I didn't get that
thing.
At all.
And what was funny is, because at the end of the movie, when like Elliot and ET are dying, like they're dying simultaneously, and you think all of a sudden, Elliot eventually gets better and he doesn't die, and people think, oh wow, that's so sweet, like he came back from the dead, or like he not came back from the dead, but like, oh sweet, like he didn't die, and people don't really realize that ET is the one who's like maliciously connected to Elliot, and the reason why Elliot's dying is because ET has like a vicious grip on his life, and ET is dying, and so Elliot is dying because ET's connected himself to him. It's only until ET gets so weak that he has to relinquish his control of Elliot that Elliot has any ability to like escape and revive. I mean, that's pretty brutal and ugly of ET that I never picked up on as a kid.
But I thought, so do you think, because you're assuming intention.
Yeah.
I thought he bonded with him and got drunk. First of all, complete accident, fighting his demons, completely purposeful. Okay. ET was certainly fighting demons because he threw a can at the TV because he was so upset. Like he had a lot. He has a lot of pent up aggression and rage.
Yeah, he was
that
watching.
He is not. He needs to talk to somebody about.
Definitely, big
it's
time.
Probably because he got left by his parents. On Earth. It's because his family left
after
him
all
Earth.
the work harvesting the corn and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, I came to harvest corn and put it through the portal to you. Well, okay, so do you think? Do you think he harvested corn and put it in a portal because he ran out of portals? And he's like, this is the only way my family's going to have sustenance enough to make the trek back to Earth.
Yeah, they kind of give you that freedom when watching the movie to kind of read into that plot point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't view E.T. as like a benevolent creature. I think he's more malevolent.
Wow.
Yeah, because of not only like him pillaging like all of their hard-earned corn, but like his connection to Elliot, the manipulation of the mind juice, and basically like dragging Elliot close to, like, seconds from death.
Yeah.
Until E.T. was just beaten to a pulp and like dehydrated enough to like release his control of him.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of a screwed up creature, to be honest.
Yeah. That's where we're gonna have to disagree.
You think he's malevolent, or you think he's benevolent?
I think he's incredibly benevolent.
Really?
I think he came to. I don't think his parents left him here. Like, are you saying it's a situation where his family left him here because he's so evil, and they didn't want to take him back?
I like that angle a little bit too. Like maybe they knew he only had a couple of portals on him. Maybe they thought that he didn't even have any mind juice, so he'd get really screwed over. But I don't know. I mean, I could see that angle as well. I didn't think about it like that. I think it more as like E.T., his family, and like their people are just pretty malevolent creatures.
Oh, do you think the whole lot of them?
Oh yeah, they're going from planet to planet, like just looking to like extract and roast corn for themselves.
So okay, I think they're benevolent. I think I liked Drew Barrymore. I liked
the precocious
Gertie. I liked the older brother, whoever the heck that guy was. I don't know if he's in any other movies after this.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Neutron. It's like, go, boy. It's like, dude. Jimbo.
It's like a crossover. It's like Jimmy Neutron, Carl, and Sid.
Lucy.
Who was the Jimmy Neutron?
Oh,
Carl,
the bully.
No. The tall, like...
Oh, Carl was the
blue T-shirt,
I thought
black hair. Carl was the guy with the heavier guy with the red hair and orange shirt. Okay.
I don't know.
Sid, maybe. Doesn't matter.
It might be Sid. Anyway, but I think
Carl Weezer. Sorry.
E.T. was great. I think he's just trying to get some corn. I think he did his job, and I think he was trying to communicate. And I think, again, I want to think he's benevolent, but to think that they didn't give anything to the human beings after harvesting all their corn in Iowa. It's probably not everybody's corn in Iowa, but certainly Elliott's family. Yeah. Because then they mind juiced him and then put him in Northern California and acted like everything was okay.
That's not kind.
Like literally, he convinced the mom that the dad, because the dad tried to fight off the E.T. in Iowa. And E.T. used the mind juice on her to convince him that he wanted a divorce. He went to Mexico, but we know that's not true.
No, E.T. took him out in the first scene.
Yeah.
The dad tried to take out E.T. and E.T. hit him with a couple of like...
And again, you don't pick up on that stuff when you're a kid.
It's too subtle as a kid.
It's way too subtle as a kid.
No. Watch this as an adult, you're going to really see like the plot holes. Or not the plot holes, but just like the
what the director's really trying to say.
Yeah, you're going to see the deeper meaning here.
Spielberg,
he's a genius for pulling
Spielberg that up. Clearly like was communicating this, and you don't see those things when you're a kid.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So let's bring it down to what was your top favorite thing about the movie? What was your least favorite thing? And then what was your rating on this 1 out of 10?
Favorite thing was E.T. running into things and getting hit by doors. Mm-hmm. I think that was the funniest thing ever. It was my favorite thing. I can laugh all day at E.T. falling down and getting hit by things.
Yeah, even though you're not like a big slapstick guy, still got a lot of joy out of it.
And because all he did was say phone, home, phone. Anytime he was like home, phone, home, and then every time he'd get hit, cried laughing. It couldn't be funnier. My least favorite thing. I really like this movie. I love the cinematography. I thought the pacing was amazing. I thought the shots were amazing. Like the actual I already said the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
But
and he got him drunk.
Fought his demons, and then I think even the acting was good.
No negatives.
I don't have negatives right now.
Okay. So what are you giving this thing out of 10?
Of what I enjoyed it, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Probably 7.5.
That's strong.
Okay, what's your ratings and favorite and worst part?
I think my favorite part of the movie was when Elliot and E.T. and all his homies are escaping and like they're flying on their bikes or whatever.
Yeah.
You get this one shot of E.T. and he's got like 3 or 4 chains dangling. And Elliot,
does he really though?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I forgot.
He's got like one that's a cross. You got another one that's like just a dollar sign. Got maybe just like another one that's like just kind of straight like gold link.
Yeah.
And Elliot like looks at the camera and you pan like a slow Ken Burns into E.T. and he's like, "What you know about this drip?" Like,
what you know about this drip?
Incorporating that into the movie, I would have to say
ahead of its time.
Oh, ahead of it, big time. And I would say that's probably one of my favorite points. I think my least favorite was
when E.T. was all white.
I will say that was my least favorite part. Yeah, because
it made me feel bad
because it made a big man feel sad.
Yeah,
seeing a dried up E.T. All white and shriveled like salt on a slug. It was pretty hard to watch. Yeah. Maybe that was my least favorite part. My other least favorite would maybe be like just E.T.'s costume design. He resembled what I would hate to say is just kind of, he had scrotum qualities.
Yeah, a lot of scrotal issues there.
Scrotal, like when you freeze frame with E.T. in the kitchen, you can just kind of see like it's like a scrotum tunic E.T. is wearing, and a lot of that is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
So that's gonna dock a point on my rating.
So is it a 9 for you then?
I'm gonna give E.T. I'm gonna give it 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was good, but seeing it about once every 2 decades is enough for me. So 6.5, solid.
It's just again, tons of nostalgia for me. I used to drop a bunch of Tostitos chips on the floor thinking that like I'd find an ET when I was a little kid.
That's precious. Because
that's exactly what Elliot did with the M&Ms or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't have Tostitos, but yeah, I thought he had Reese's Pieces.
Oh, it was Reese's Pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
So he kept like putting Reese's Pieces on the
floor.
Shout
out to the product placement in that movie. Coke, Reese's Pieces, Coors. I don't know.
Who would have thought Coors Light was going to play such a vital part in that movie?
You wouldn't have thunk it.
Because Elliot got his first kiss off getting just drunk.
That's a subliminal hit as a kid.
Yeah.
Drunkenness leads to like, your first connection with a woman. Your first kiss.
Yeah.
That's special.
That was special for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to those cool blue mountains that are not covered in corn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what we'd rate it. If you want to check this out, feel free. Let us know what you think. Other than that, you'll find us in the next pod. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, bye. Have a nice day.
E.T. out.
E.T. phone home.